Have you ever just stopped and wondered why we do it? Why we humans, across every single culture, all throughout history, have this deep, kind of irresistible urge to make art. We paint, we make music, we tell these incredible stories. Well, today we're going to try and unpack the biological mystery that's hiding behind that creative spark.
When you really think about it, it's a genuine puzzle. From a strictly evolutionary point of view, so much of what we call art it doesn't make any sense. So, the big question we're tackling here is pretty simple. Why on earth do we spend so much time and energy creating things that don't help us find food or fight off a tiger or, build a better shelter? And this right here just lays out that central conflict perfectly. On one side, you've got the absolute must-dos of survival, the non-negotiables, right? Finding food, building shelter, not getting eaten. And on the other side, you have these, I guess you could call them luxury behaviors, painting, music, storytelling. They aren't necessary to stay alive, not day to day, and yet we are just completely driven to do them. It's a paradox that really gets to the core of what it means to be us.
Okay, so let's dive in. We're talking about a beautiful biological puzzle here, the paradox of human creativity. And it's important to frame this right. This isn't just some philosophical question for a late-night chat. No, this is a deep biological puzzle, and it seems to fly right in the face of that classic survival of the fittest idea we all know. Really try to think about it in the harshest possible terms. Imagine you're one of our early ancestors. Every single calorie is precious. Every moment you're not out finding food or making sure you're safe is a huge risk. So, taking time out to, smear some colored dirt on a cave wall or chant a song, it seems like an absolutely incredible, almost reckless waste of energy. So why on earth did we keep doing it?
So to even begin solving this puzzle, we've got to look to the man who kind of defined the whole problem in the first place, Charles Darwin. And it turns out he actually gave us a huge clue, and it points to something beyond just simple survival. It's this second, incredibly powerful force in evolution. And that force is called sexual selection. Now, here's the key idea, and it's a big one. Evolution isn't just about surviving. It's also about, reproducing, passing on your genes. And sexual selection is the engine for that. It's how certain traits evolve, not because they help you live longer, but because they make you way more attractive to potential mates, which of course boosts your chances of passing on those genes. The absolute classic example, the one everyone knows, is the peacock's tail. That huge, gorgeous tail, it's a total disaster for survival. It's heavy, it makes it hard to fly, and it's basically a giant, glittering, eat-me sign for predators. But the peahens, they find it irresistible. That tail evolved for one reason, and one reason only, to impress a partner. Now, I want you to hold that image of the peacock in your head, because we're about to apply that exact same logic to us. Which brings us to the mating mind hypothesis, and the idea of how art can attract a partner. This is a really powerful theory, and what it suggests is, pretty mind-blowing. It suggests that our human creativity is basically our version of the peacock's tail. The gist of the mating mind hypothesis is this. Our big, complicated, super creative brains didn't just evolve to figure out survival puzzles. Nope. They also evolved to be these incredibly sophisticated instruments of courtship. The ability to create something beautiful or funny or complex, that was a powerful way to signal to a potential mate, hey, I have a high-quality mind, which is basically a proxy for saying, I have high-quality genes. Okay, so to really get this, the theory splits creativity into two different types. First, you've got technical creativity. This is the stuff that solves survival problems. Figuring out how to make a better tool or a stronger shelter. Pretty straightforward. But then you have ornamental creativity. And its goal isn't solving survival problems, it's solving mating problems. This is your intricate music, your amazing paintings, the stuff that basically just shows off how clever and healthy the creator is. So how does this actually work? Why would art be a good signal? This is where we get to the idea of a costly signal and the hidden price of a masterpiece. See, for any trait to be a reliable signal of how fit you are, it has to be, costly. It has to be hard to fake. A sickly peacock can't just glue on a few extra feathers. It has to have the real biological resources to grow that amazing tail. Exactly. A costly signal is a trait that's really difficult and expensive to produce. And that very costliness is what makes it a reliable, hard-to-fake sign of good genes. If something takes a ton of energy to make, it's proof that only the healthiest individuals can even afford to show it off. And this brings us to the single most expensive, most costly organ in the entire human body.
And that organ, of course, is the human brain. There's this great line: the human brain is a metabolically expensive organ. We tend to just think of our brains as, well, just being there, right? But the energy required to power that incredible machine, it comes at a truly astonishing biological price. Okay, get this. Your brain, the physical organ, only makes up about 2% of your total body weight. 2%. It's a pretty small part of you, physically speaking. But the cost of actually running that thing is absolutely huge. That tiny 2% organ devours a staggering 20 to 25% of your daily calories and oxygen. Let that sink in. A full quarter of everything you eat goes straight to powering your brain. It is, by a huge margin, the most energy-hungry piece of equipment we have.
And that right there is the big aha moment. If your brain is that expensive to run, then using it to do something totally non-essential but incredibly complex, like, say, creating a beautiful piece of art, is the ultimate costly signal. It proves you don't just have enough energy to survive, you have a massive surplus. You have energy to spare. It's a completely honest, impossible to fake advertisement for your metabolic stability, your efficiency, your good genes.
So let's bring this all home. Our creative compulsion isn't some random quirk. It's a deep biological drive. This evolutionary pressure didn't just give us a fun hobby. It literally hardwired a fundamental drive deep into our brains, shaping the very essence of who we are. So here's the whole argument in a nutshell. We started with a puzzle. Art seems useless for just surviving, so why do we do it? The answer, it seems, is sexual selection. Art acts as a costly signal to attract a partner. And because our brains are so incredibly energy hungry, creating art is an honest, reliable way to show off your genetic fitness. So at the end of the day, our drive to create isn't just a fun little quirk. It's a fundamental, hardwired adaptation. And that leaves us with one last, kind of fascinating question to chew on. If our art first evolved way back when to signal fitness, what are we signaling with it today? In this modern world of social media and digital art and everything else, what is our creativity really signaling now? What is the art you make, or the music you love, or the stories you tell? What does it all say about who you are, and maybe who you're trying to be for someone else?